Hello everyone and Merry Christmas to you. In my last video I read the fairy tale Sterntaler or Star Money in English to you, and in this video I want to comment on the story a little. So if you haven't listened to my reading of the fairy tale, please do that and click on the link below in the description of the video. It's about this orphaned girl. She has lost her mother and her father and even her place to live, and the only thing she's left with is a loaf of bread that some charitable soul has given to her. And as she doesn't know where to go, what to do, because she is just left with the only thing she has is her clothes and this loaf of bread, so she just goes out into the open country, trusting the good God, the story says. And when she just steps outside, she first meets a man, an old man, and she gives him this loaf of bread. So the first thing she gives away is a thing that she only got herself, probably not a long time before. And afterwards there's other people, like the first one is the little girl who wants to get her hat, so she gives that away, and then she also gives away her frock, so she's left like only with this shirt, and then she even gives away this shirt, so she's really left with nothing. And she says, okay, it's dark and nobody sees me, so what do I have to lose, you know? It's really her thought with everything she's giving away seems to be, there's someone who's even poorer than me, so I have to give that, I want to give that away. I want to improve their life at this moment in time so they can feel better. And very generous and very selfless also. And I think this whole behavior, this just leads to the end of the story, in which she gets all these gifts, like she gets this new dress, and then also all the money that's just falling from the sky like stars. And it even, like, the story even says it is falling from heaven. And in English you could see the difference between heaven and sky here very well. In German it's both Himmel, so you don't really have that difference. But when it's falling from heaven, it seems to fall like as it has been sent from God. And this is where you see the connection. It is not just some random thing happening that you could explain with science. I mean, of course it's a fairy tale, but it's really something like a gift from God that's really sent from heaven. And this she gets because she's been so charitable and selfless and just giving everything she has away, thinking that there's someone else poorer than her. And yeah, the story has often been seen as like an allegory on the Christian spirit of just giving everything away and being like a really generous and selfless person. And the story has often been seen as an allegory on this Christian spirit of just being merciful and grateful for everything you have, and like selflessly giving everything away that you have because there's someone else that is poorer than you. And actually she's just gaining so much from it as a reward for her behavior. I think actually you don't really need much of an interpretation of that, because the words just speak for themselves, because she's so generous and just does everything without thinking about that twice. Like, does it help me in any way? No, she just really, she even blesses this loaf of bread when she gives it to the old man. And she genuinely wishes everyone to be healthy and well cared for, well looked after. And this out of this situation in which she herself cannot even really look after herself, but she has just huge trust in God and like her surroundings, maybe also into other people, so that she just gets this reward in the end. And I think it's really beautiful. You can take so much away from that for your own life, just not always just thinking, what can I get out of this situation, what can I get out of this gesture or this thing I'm doing for someone else, or something like that, but rather just sometimes just do the things without thinking about it so much, because it's not always just about ourselves, right? It's about our relationship to others, and just doing something just because you see there's like a need and there's someone else just needing some help at the moment. And in this way you can get so much back, and you will yourself be looked after later. So I think that's really beautiful, like not only just trusting in God, but also trusting in this whole spirit and this idea that you give something and you get so much back. And I think that's also something we can remind ourselves during this Christmas and holiday time, of that it's just about that, right? It's just about doing things selflessly and being grateful for everything we have, but also just not thinking so much about ourselves, but rather of others, and looking around, going through the world with open eyes, and just not just ignore someone else's needs, but rather try to help as well as possible. And this way we will create a better place to live in and a better community with others. So that's about it for the video, I think. I hope you enjoyed it.